I'm the 14th born of my father's 17 children.
How many mothers do you have?
From 10 women. But from my mother's side, we are 6.
Your father married 10 women.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was with them.
How long did he...
My father was born in 1903 and he passed away in 1968.
Transpolygamy. George,
I'm speechless.
Of course, because my father can afford it instead of having girlfriends.
And how many wives do you have?
Me?
Yes.
2.
Okay.
1 Ghana, 1 Jamaica, 1 Ghana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. 14. Damn.
14, yeah.
Your dad was
It's a very big family.
I can see that.
Even one of my sister's grandsons have even about 7 children.
Okay.
Yeah, but I have seen it.
Wait, your sister's grandson?
Yeah, my father's firstborn.
The grandson has 7 children?
Yeah.
Okay, that's...
So you see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're from a very potent family.
Yeah, very potent. Very potent. My father is very potent.
Yeah.
And we are also, and my father plays the keyboard.
Okay.
In the Anglican church. He gave the organ. He has a piano and organ at home and an organ in the church, in the Anglican church at Boso. My father comes from Boso.
Okay.
And my mother comes from Ada. And I was a mass server at the Anglican church.
Interesting.
Yeah, at the age of about 6, 7. And I was also in 1968, I also at the age of 11, I was a chorister at the Methodist church at Agomanya Methodist.
Okay.
Yeah, singing alto, 11-year-old boy singing alto, not treble.
Wow.
Yeah. But I'm fast-tracking certain things.
Yeah.
But my official, what prompted me, because when I went to school, I aspired to be a lawyer, and a historian, But when my father died in 1968, at the age of 66, what I desired to do, because my father was my best friend, I couldn't. But it is not by mistake that I attended Emmett, not Achimota or St. Augustine's or whatever thing. Because it's through Emmett Electronic Institute that I got connected to live band music through my schoolmate, Cecil Jones, who was the drummer. He was 1 year ahead of me at Emmett. And he was the drummer for Nkantanai.
This is what I'm going to, because of time, I'm going to skip you a little bit.
Yeah.
Let us get to the interest. Because you sound like you have a very solid Christian background.
Yeah.
7 months singing and choir. At which point did you cross from Christianity to Rasta?
I'm a Christian.
You're still a Christian.
Of the Rastafarian faith. Like somebody is a Roman Catholic, a Christian of the Catholic faith.
Okay, so you're a Christian.
I'm a Christian because...
So which Christian denomination do you belong
Orthodox
to?
Church.
Which one?
The Orthodox. The 12 tribes of Israel.
I'm confused.
George, you can't connect him to an ICGC.
No.
So
it could be. So are you saying you're Catholic, you're Anglican, you're Methodist,
I
or Presbyterian?
am an Orthodox Christian.
Orthodox is the traditional.
So which one?
Like what?
Orthodox Church of the Ethiopian.
Ethiopian.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're
Because
talking
even Haile Selassie,
Okay.
that Rastafarians take that this thing, is the head of the church,
Okay.
Orthodox Church.
of the Orthodox Church, St. George.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Orthodox.
How different is that from the Anglicans, the
You see, the
Presbyterian, the
thing
Methodist?
is that there are so many dogmatic things. I live in the Bible.
Okay.
That's why you see the names that I have even now. When
Yeah.
you're talking about Caleb or Levi, Ras also is Nana or a prince, Ethiopian word. In my songs, like one of my songs, Jah Sacred Feast,
Yeah.
I live a biblical life.
Yeah.
I read my Bible because one time a priest met me at a funeral in the eastern region and he asked, "Hey, is my daughter a Muslim? My second daughter is called Hamutal Aksa." And I said, "No, not a Muslim. Hamutal is the daughter of Jeremiah." And Aksa is the daughter of Caleb.
Okay.
So look at this priest. Can he teach me? He doesn't even know. You understand? If I bring my Bible here, you'll shock. I've raped my Bible.
Let us not go into that. Let us go on and address. let us go on and address the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
In between the conversations, we'll speak about you, and then we'll speak about the union and everything.
Good.
Why do you want to destroy MUSIGA?
I don't destroy MUSIGA. I want MUSIGA to stand firm.
By dragging it to court?
Of course, law and order. Because when you try to engage people and they are not forthcoming,
Yeah.
then you have to go to the law court to seek redress. Because MUSIGA is bound by a constitution. And if that constitution is not used for an election, and you want to engage the union that, hey, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Since the case even went to court, none of them has sat down with me, even though they want out-of-court settlements. None. They have big time.
Exactly what is the problem from your perspective?
One, they never used the MUSIGA constitution to conduct this election. The timing of the resignation of Mr. Baiso Sekufuor Obuo was wrong. He knew his term of office will expire in August 2019. But he never resigned. I went to court the first time on the 23rd of July, on the 10th of 9th of July. Once the case is in court in July, then you come hiding behind so-called neck, say you have resigned. If it is me, I know that I have another agenda. I will resign 8 or 6 months before my term of office expired. Then hand over to my vice. There will be no problem. But there's a limit. MUSIGA is supposed to have elections in August. But why June? Why June? June 26th, which is even my birthday.
So you mean they were trying to hold elections ahead of the election?
Yeah,
Because the president had stepped down?
The president, the president stepped down after I went to court.
Okay. So you are a member of the National Executive Council, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm one.
So why do you say he was hiding behind the National Executive Council? Does it mean he was able to get everybody else to agree except you?
I don't know whether we're under spell. But the spell couldn't, you couldn't.
So you were part of the group that agreed to everything that was happening?
We were called for a meeting.
And?
They never tell us that, this is what is going to happen. He's going to hand over this, nothing. They call a council meeting. And the MUSIGA have, I would say, 3 neck. National Executive Committee, that comprises the national executives of 7 persons.
Yeah.
Now we have the National Executive Council, which have the 7 national executives and the 10 regional chairpersons and the 10 regional secretaries, making 27. That constitutes, what do they call it? The National Executive Council. Before the National Election Committee.
Yes.
That's why I say neck.
I understand you.
Yeah.
But you see, to be able to put the conversation in proper perspective,
Yeah.
we need to understand exactly how an organization that was doing well, I mean, from Sidi Kubuari, power was fairly handed over to Diana Hobson. Then power was fairly transferred from Diana Hobson to Obuo. All through elections, people voted. They won fairly. And then after that, after Obuo's tenure, they were going to hold elections. And then you placed an injunction on it.
Yeah, because things were done wrong. Per the Constitution, we were in Cape Coast in 2018,
Yes.
October, in the conference.
Yes.
Biennial conference.
Yes.
To review and validate the Constitution.
Yes.
The Constitution was reviewed, but was not validated. Okay. Now, before the MUSIGA elections, we go for a Congress, which have 10 persons or members from each region, except Greater Accra and Ashanti region. That brings about 30 each. And we converge in a location like we did in Tamale in 2011 and 2015 in Koforidua. Now, in 2018, we said that instead of the Congress, we have to, like every card-bearing member can now vote.
Okay.
And we will have the regional and national elections on the same date. So why are we having the national elections before having regional elections?
Jesse, you want to come in?
Yes, I just have one question.
Okay.
It will clear my mind a little
Okay.
bit. So this is the MUSIGA Constitution.
Yes.
And I'm in Article 12.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'm jumping to Article 12.7.
Yes.
So I need some education from you. Article 12.7 says that the election month shall be in August of each election year.
Yeah.
But the Constitution says that, however, the Executive Committee, in conjunction with the National Executive Council, has the mandate to reschedule the date not earlier than 6 months or later than 6 months.
Exactly.
What does that mean from your perspective?
Meaning that if we are ready and we can go for elections 6 months
Earlier
earlier.
or 6 months after?
After.
No. Earlier.
Or later?
Either earlier
Or later?
Or later.
Yes.
Earlier before the August.
Or
Because June, July, August is 2 months.
Yes.
yes. So I'm just saying that. So I need to
Yes.
be clear. If you say 6 months, so it says that 6 months. So sorry, the date not earlier than 6 months or later than six months. So June is what, 3 months?
June is actually 2 months, so it
2
falls
months
right
before.
within.
So it falls in line with the 6 months. So if the election is in
August.
June,
It's in August, and
it's
they
in
held
August,
it in June.
how does that breach the Constitution?
I didn't go that way. I was not having a problem for the June.
Okay.
Okay.
I was not that I have a problem.
Okay.
So that was why I asked earlier.
Yes,
so
the
why did you
problem-
go to court with
I
what?
went to court because there was a lot of anomalies.
Like which one?
For example,
So we've taken the June out.
Yes, we've taken that one out.
Okay,
it
good.
means
Yeah.
that wasn't the problem.
For example,
so yes. And we're still here in the studio. Ras, that's a lot of document you have there.
yeah,
Showbiz
but
A
you're
to
not
Z.
reading, I'm just showing you.
Yes, okay. Showbiz A to Z is probably brought to you
Yes.
by MTN. We dare for you everywhere you
You
go and
see-
high five Chocomo, the new normal. Yes, Ras.
Our people were not ready
For what?
for the elections.
Why were they not ready?
Because if you are going for the elections, you need an authentic
Register.
voters register.
Okay.
This here
Yeah.
contains about 281 persons' names.
2000.
Yeah, 2,000.
Yes.
881.
2,881 membership.
My name appeared twice. Some people's name appeared twice and thrice.
Was it the same name? Because you've changed your name like 3 times.
No. I am the only Ras Appiah-Levi.
Okay.
Or Appiah-Levi.
No, I asked because maybe it was Emmanuel. Which was the other one? Emmanuel's.
Emmanuel Obrikwesi.
Emmanuel
That
Obrikwesi.
is not at all.
That is not at all. Okay. All right.
That is not at all.
Yeah.
A lot of names
Were duplicated.
were duplicated, and I even captured it.
Okay.
All the anomalies here is here.
Okay.
So, Ras, what document is that? The one with the name?
This one
Yes.
is the list that is shared on the MUSIGA WhatsApp platform pertaining to be the voters list.
The voters list.
Yes.
Okay.
And a lot of members cried over it. They went through it.
Ras, I have one question before you move forward. So let us assume this room, we're going to vote for Philip Nye as House Prefect for House Joy.
Yeah.
Okay? And we're all members. And then there's a voters list where Jesse's name has appeared twice. Sadiq's name has appeared twice. My name has appeared 4 times. Does that mean we would each have 2 or 3 or 4 votes? Or when it comes to the voting and I go, I'll still vote just once?
You vote. Everybody votes once.
So how
Your
do you now
name
go to
have
court
to appear-
with that document that says, how would that affect the election if names have appeared twice? Sorry? Sadiq,
see-
use the micro. Yes.
This one even doesn't show.
Okay.
It is when I started pointing out. Now, you can see here, This is what came.
That's
It's a
a
full
huge
register.
document.
full
That's a full register.
Awesome.
Okay.
Very confusing.
Okay. So when you probed, then they brought the full register.
They brought it
Okay.
all mixed up instead of being region by region. Because MUSIGA is in 10 regions.
Yes.
And everybody.
So wait, is this document nationally alphabetical?
It's not alphabetical.
Because it
is alphabetical.
Good. Because my assumption would be this, that if this was compiled by the election committee in conjunction with the EC officials, then an alphabetical register might not be too far off in helping people know that their names are there. It might not be wrong per se.
MUSIGA was the one
Who put this together?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, when this is about 2000 something,
Yes.
when the case went to court, and I make my case, it came to 744. And I even went through again. I saw 2 people dead in Upper West region. So it became 742. Now, this register, when you take it, you are cool because it's region by region. You understand? You can easily, but here, before you have to see your name, there's headache. So this one is region by region, and 742.
Is that the current register?
The current register.
After
After
you raised issues with
yes.
the other.
Now,
Mike. Uncle, can please use your mic?
there is one thing.
Russ, before you go forward, just
Yeah.
one question
Yeah.
before you proceed. Yeah. And sorry, it appears we're interjecting and not
No,
allowing
no, no,
you
no,
to
no,
flow.
no. I'm cool.
So again, layman's view. This register with the numbers not up, how, in your opinion, would it have affected the outcome of the elections?
Very bad.
How?
Because the writings are not done. There's confusion all over. My people are not ready. Were not ready for the elections.
Which people?
I
when
went
you say
to
my people?
court, the National Executive Committee, because they give every information to the election committee.
Okay.
I went to court on the 9th of July. The elections were supposed to be held on the 10th of July, when voters register has not even been exhibited. The 9th of July, before, why should it go to July 10th, the elections? Formally, it was 26th of June. Now, this one 10th. Because whilst I was doing my campaign, I detected certain things wrong. So I called the membership director and I say, sir, this is what is going on. And I have evidence of that. I knew he was not part of that kind of thing because otherwise he would not even have reacted. So he officially wrote to the election committee to stop it. I have his letter here.
Okay. Good.
Okay, to stop it so that we correct all these anomalies. Now, when I saw this, I wrote a petition. Because according to the article 7.5.2 of the MUSIGA Constitution, no member shall take the Musicians Union of Ghana or any executive to court unless you write a petition to the arbitration committee, of which I did on the 1st of July, 2019. The letter was dispatched that same day, received about 3 o'clock. My dispatcher went to MUSIGA and gave the letter. From that 1st July, I was expecting to hear from, the letter was, it was addressed to the president, one, of the Musicians Union of Ghana, and also to the chairperson of the the arbitration and disciplinary committee. I didn't know whether it's a male or female, so I used chairperson. Now, I copied one, the chairman of the election committee, Mrs. Martin Kansa. 2, the secretary of the election committee, that is Madam Diana Hobson. 3, the Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture. 4, to the chairperson of the Electoral Commission of Ghana. 5, to all the aspirants. And 6, to all the regional chairs.
Interesting.
A letter addressed to the President of the Union and also the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, and copied to people. The person who copied, responded to the letter. And it was responded, I was given the response on the 8th, Monday, the 8th of July, when all the aspirants went and met with the election committee. It was at that meeting that right now I make a step already, because you can't just go to court just like that.
Yeah.
The Friday, my lawyer, Peter Zwanis, let us file. Then the Monday when we went to the meeting, then I requested for the response to my letter. Then the director of communication left the room and brought a letter, purported this letter, which was dated 1st July. And I received that letter. Anytime when I receive a letter, I write the date, the time, and sign on it. It was 9:32 p.m. on that 8th of July. Voters' register have not been exhibited, and 2 days later we are going for election. What sort of election is this? You understand? I was not so. I said, look here. What is happening? Is it they don't know, or they decide to do what they were doing?
George, can I ask a question?
Yes, Jesse, you can.
So I hear the submission on the membership side, and I think it's there are serious questions to be asked there.
Definitely.
But I guess my question would be, which part of the membership issues breaks the Constitution? Because if the Constitution says that those who should be able to vote should have paid their dues, and the names you may have found, albeit duplicated, have not paid their dues, then I understand there's a constitutional breach. Now, so I want to separate the issue so I can understand. The first part of the issue is the constitutional breach of the members on the document he has.
Yeah.
That's number one. And then the procedural breaches. Now, if there are procedural breaches, I would look to the election committee of MUSIGA for failing the process.
Yeah.
And they have questions to answer. So let's separate it. The first one is, which part of the membership submission breaks the Constitution? So at least we are clear in our minds, because you've highlighted constitutional breaches.
Yeah.
Which part of it? Is it that the members' names you have seen had not paid dues, or they had paid dues but because of the duplication? Because your Constitution does not speak about duplication. These are procedural issues.
I'm glad about this. First, about the membership.
Yes.
And also the election committee. During my campaign, I have a term, submarine. There were a lot of people who were registered who never paid
Dues.
for the cards.
Okay.
Why? On the 9th of March, I was at an avalanche near, what do they call it, Alliance Française in the evening, where Ejako Nimo was even a guest, when I got a call from a member of the union telling me, Chairman, you need to register a lot of people to vote for you. So I'll look for money to do that. He said, no, you don't need money. Just give me the list of the people. The person told me everything, like name, this and that, and give it to me. Or send it to me, I'll get you the cards. And I got the cards. Some.
Without paying dues.
Without paying for it.
Okay, so that's fraud.
Yes, fraud. That is it.
So Jesse, the point that he's been making is that even beyond the constitutional argument that you make,
yes,
they were going for an election.
Yes.
He's an interested party in
Agreed.
the election.
In that
He's a
election.
candidate.
Agreed. Yes.
Yeah.
And then he found out things that he found out that the processes had been whether it's intentional or not, but it's been breached.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? And he, as an interested party, feels that will perhaps put him at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, for him, as an interested party, he's gone back. Once the election processes insist that these things must be done, he's not wrong insisting that as an interested party.
Sadiq, question. When do I fail to become a member? Do I fail to become a member if I didn't pay my current dues? Or I fail to become a member because of what exactly? When do I fail to become a member? Because you see, the Constitution says
you need
that
to renew your
an
membership
active
prior dues.
Yes, it says that an active member. So it says that each card-bearing member, other than temporary or honorary members, shall have the rights to vote. And the question is that it says that you are a member if you pay your dues regularly.
Yes.
Now, what does that mean? If in the past 10 years I've paid my dues from 2001,
Sadiq, hold on.
If in the past 10 years I've paid my dues for 8, or I've paid my dues for 9 years, and I missed last year's dues, do I fail to be a member?
No. So the point I'm saying.
No, you see, do I fail to be a member?
No, you don't fail to be a member. However,
yes,
you lose certain rights.
Yeah.
Which
but the Constitution has not stated.
No, but when it comes to the voting regulations, is different from
so I've read it.
Yeah.
I'm saying that the voting says that only. See, it says that active members shall vote.
Yes.
And you're an active member if you pay your dues regularly.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it didn't say that if you see, it's ambiguous.
Yes.
Because if I've had a chance to pay 10 dues and I've paid 9, and I miss the last one because maybe they are the sick or anything else, you see, I'm not bad per se.
Okay, so in this case, Jesse, now you would have to now
I can still have a membership card.
Now,
I still have the card.
Yes, but you now revert to, for instance, what has been the practice in music
So,
relative to elections.
Adekamo. So I'm saying that the people who may have gotten the cards he's speaking about may have been members already who don't have cards. But they probably may have been good on their dues.
No, the reason why I don't want to sit on the cards issue is that he cited it in explaining the bigger issue, which is the fact that he had every reason to believe that or suspect that there was some fraudulent activities going on, which was going to put him at the
You see,
So
hold
all
on.
he was doing,
Then that is no, Sadiq, hold on,
Yes.
and everybody, hold on. That is the question I've been wanting to. And listeners,
Yes.
we're having a chat with Ras Appiah-Levi, Caleb from MUSIGA, and what we're trying to do is to try to understand the problem with the Musicians Union of Ghana and see how best we can move forward, have this matter settled either in court or out of court, either way, so that we can move forward with the union. And my question, and just like, did you suspect any fraud
Yes.
or any kind of
The whole thing was fraud.
how was the whole thing fraud?
You see, the case is in court, so I don't want even to go further on. The whole thing, if it is not fraud, I will not just come out because I want. Look, one thing I would like people to know.
Yeah.
It is not Appiah-Levi I want to be president of MUSIGA. Never.
You don't?
No. It's not like I want.
So are you going to step down if they
No,
open
no,
the
no, no,
nominations
no, no.
race again?
God just brought me in to cleanse it. I've been a member of the union since June 1982.
Okay.
The union is not growing. And I'm going to contest for the leadership position.
Which you just said here that you're not interested in.
Not that I'm not interested in it. My interest is to cleanse the union.
Okay.
I became a chairman of Greater Accra.
Yes, you did.
MUSIGA is a joke. No handing over notes. What do you expect me to do? Greater Accra. I don't register my members. How can I have the data? What sort of money should I use to take care of them? So I said, wow, that's why I couldn't get anything from TikTok. TikTok couldn't get anything from Questioners. Questioners couldn't get anything from KK Kabovo, who were chairpersons. I am somebody who loves reading and abiding by whatever thing I read, which is positive. I didn't. It was bare. No bank account, no nothing. So, is this the same thing I'm going to face when I'm going for the presidency? Why all these fraudulent things? Just two aspirants. One having an edge. Because my opponent is the first vice.
Which is Mr. Bester Simons.
Mr. Simons. He's a national. They make the cards. You understand?
So, in your opinion, they had made cards for people who are pro Bester Simons, who would have voted for Bester Simons, and
yes.
people who might have voted for you, they didn't have cards for. Is that what you're
You
saying?
see, those who are ready to vote for me are people who have their cards. themselves musicians.
So they have their
I
cards.
don't have any locus of going, say, hey, do cards for me to give to this and that person. Because I don't control anything over there.
So we want to understand where the fraud was. So in your opinion, you thought because Mr. Simons had an edge, he had used his edge and influence to get cards for people who would vote for him. How was it going to go against you? Why did you flag it?
But the fraudulent things that was going on.
Like what exactly?
I was telling you about the
books, the voters, irregular voters.
No. You see,
and even we didn't look. We never used the Constitution. Article 11 of the Constitution even tells us about the composition of the election committee.
Did you feel the musical establishment then were trying to effectively pass on to a candidate other than you and were put order? That's how you felt?
It's a rally baton.
That's how you felt?
Yeah, that's what I felt. That's why I knew.
Sadiq, I'm trying to. I'm trying to have him stay on the constitutionality of the issues.
That is where I'm with you there.
Just if he doesn't stay on the constitutionality of the issues, and we go to the procedural side,
we'll be all over the place.
It will be all over the place.
Yes.
Because, see, as an example, let me give you an example. The diary, the documents he brought now, one has duplications. Duplications can be cured
Exactly.
by a simple Excel sheet and removing it. It's done. Number two, no,
which is ideally, which is the
it
case.
shouldn't be ideal. That's business.
No, but in their case, for instance,
especially because when you have Ghana's Electoral Commission helping you with your process, deduplications are part of. We know how to do elections in Ghana, so let's separate that. Second level is validating those on the new register he has. He did a very good job. How do you do that? MUSIGA has a treasurer. The treasurer at MUSIGA has a list of members who
Are
paid their
paid
dues.
and those who haven't.
And the treasurer can pick the list of those who paid their dues and mirror that against the list he has. Then you can say that name one hasn't paid their dues, and therefore I am challenging that. But to keep on stressing fraud without having that's done, and we are now going to the court to ask the court to allocate an auditor to do forensic audits for us.
so this is how I understand. So this is how I understand. So you see, there's a friend. You see,
I get
hold on.
that. I'm with you.
Hold on.
I'm with
Gentlemen,
you.
one voice. Hold on. Ras, hold on. And you heard him. And we've heard Sadiq. Hold on. Before you respond to it, just let it go in a little bit. Before you respond to it, let's hear. Uncle Ken, I haven't heard you on this. You've been very quiet.
I'm listening.
For God and country.
Yes. You see, I'm listening quietly because there's been this regurgitation of this matter over the years.
Yeah.
And I keep saying that the negativity is too much. And we need to curb ourselves of this and look forward, accentuate the positives. You have elaborated on all the negatives, all the things, issues that you felt were wrong. Jesse wants to raise issues of constitutionalities.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, the issues of constitutionalities are what are going to be settled in court.
Yes, and it's not coming out very strong.
Yeah, and we are not the ones to determine what those issues are.
That's it.
As far as I'm concerned, those
Yeah.
are the reasons why the matter is in
It's in
court.
court.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the court will duly come up with the thing. My problem is there were periods during this matter that issues came about that Ras had decided to agree on alternative dispute resolution.
Yes.
Did you or did you not agree at a certain stage during this,
Yes.
problem?
I'm glad that you have come from it in reverse. That's why I started with the petition that I copied all those I mentioned, including the Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture. When the case went to court on the 9th of July, a date was given for 23rd of July. When we went to the High Court, they shifted the date to the 14th of October. My personal assistant, Appiah-Levi, is here with 3 of my team people, we went to the ministry to book I went to book an appointment with the deputy minister. Because at the court, when we went there on the 23rd, before we have to leave, my lawyer, Peter Zwenis, told the defendants to see me so that we can talk.
To settle the matter
Yes,
out of court.
yes.
But did it happen?
No,
I just want to know so I can carry on with my submission. I just want to know.
We went to the ministry for mediation.
Yeah. Did it happen?
Yes, it did.
Yeah, the mediation started.
Okay.
I just want to, because the minister.
But there was nothing conclusive.
Yeah, the
Okay.
minister. Yeah.
There was nothing conclusive.
Because we were told otherwise.
So you went
Yeah.
back to court.
Yes.
Listen,
Let's allow him to respond to it, Uncle Ken.
see-
And yes, Ras, let's hear you.
the deputy minister said, when I went to him and I complained to him, he was having the petition. So he too, he's a lawyer. He read everything and he listened to me and my team. We were about 11 when we went, and he said, okay, he is going to the north and will be coming back so that he will sit down with National and call us for a meeting.
Would that be Dr. Zebulon Baridi?
Zebulon.
Okay.
But
Yes.
it didn't happen.
Then I'm trying to let you know how the ADR and things.
I just
listen,
want to carry on with my
okay.
submission.
Yes.
The
So if
ADR,
it didn't
the
happen-
ADR didn't take place.
Thank you. That's all I want to know.
But-
So you are back in court. The issue is still in court because
Yeah.
there hasn't been any ADR
Yes.
to settle the
Yeah.
matters. And now in court, the issues that you raised, the matter of the register, you told us here that has been resolved because you were able to prune it down
To 700.
to 700. And you showed us
42.
it's 742. You
So
showed us
you are satisfied with that
So-
final list now?
You see, in a question, I said that I'm satisfied, but there's a question mark. Look at it, that those 700 and so maybe from, because I suspect somebody. And so we remove all these things. But how do I know that these persons,
the 700.
the 700, are authentic?
Okay, so
Because in the first place, MUSIGA regionals, they register their members.
yes.
National register in Accra, Greater Accra don't register.
Okay, you said that, yeah.
Now, at some point, the regions want National to let them send their lists. National says no. They will provide, they have the data.
So you still have issues.
Yes,
with that.
issues.
Okay.
Yes.
Now the case is, when is there a date for settlement of this matter that you know of?
We will be going back to court on the 16th for ruling of what matters, the matters
16th of which month?
March.
16th of March.
16th
for the-
of this month.
This 16th of
But
March.
I have also seen some publications from MUSIGA that are asking people to get ready for an election.
Which date?
I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
No. So onto the
don't-
court case
No,
is
no,
done.
I haven't
You
heard.
see,
I haven't
if-
seen
I,
that.
haven't-
Yeah.
I had wanted to let you know why I went to
Oh,
court.
sorry, that's Gamro instead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's-
Gamro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's Gamro instead. Yes.
Yeah.
So Ras, we're
correct
running
myself.
out of time.
Yeah.
What do you want at the moment?
I want the right things to be done.
You want the right things to be
Yes.
done. Okay, so now that we're going to court back on the 16th, yeah?
Yeah.
What kind of judgment are you anticipating?
The requests that are made to the court for the judge, one, I'm asking them to step down because their term of office has expired, so that we can have the interim management committee.
Who to step down?
The acting president, the acting national executive,
The acting-
they are all even aspirants.
Yeah.
This is part of my suit. Even for the first time, for them to step down, so that we have an interim management committee to steer the affairs for us to go for elections.
Okay.
Now, we're supposed to go for a conference to review the constitution in October. In my destiny, I said we should go to a what did they call it? Conference to review the constitution and validate it before we set up the new roadmap for the elections. Because one,
Even though the matter is still in court? You
no,
still want-
this is my request. What I'm talking about is part of the statement of claim.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, I'm talking through. I'm not just talking just
Okay,
like that.
Okay. Okay.
You understand? I requested for them to step down, and also put an injunction on the election for 2020 and for us to go to conference to review and validate the constitution.
Okay, Ras, hold on. I've
Now-
got to go to the phone lines briefly. I'll come back to you.
Okay.
I'm gonna be speaking. To Madam Deborah Freeman. Madam Deborah Freeman was the former, or let me find out actually if she's still the General Secretary of MUSIGA. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Miss. Is it Miss or Mrs.?
I'm Mrs., but I still use my maiden name, Freeman. So, Deborah Freeman.
All right, Debbie. How are you doing?
I'm good. And you?
I'm very well, thank you. Are you still General Secretary for MUSIGA?
Yes, sir.
Oh, great. And so it means you are aware of everything that's been going on so far?
Rightly so.
I happened to intercept an audio recently, which my producer feels we haven't really sought proper permit to play on air. And in that audio, you sounded pretty disgruntled. It was an audio that you had sent to acting President Mr. Henry Besser Simons, in which you sort of suggested that he was making allegations against you that you weren't happy about.
Rightly so.
Could you just take us into that briefly? What was that all about?
Thank you very much, my brother, and to our cherished listeners. Good afternoon. Yes, for some time now, you are aware that from 2019, we set up a roadmap as a union in order to hold our election. And then what happened was that, in a nutshell, I realized that the whole process was sort of being managed at the whims and caprices of the powers that be within the union. Let me put it that way. What do I mean by that? I'm the General Secretary, but because I was an aspirant, I did not want to influence anything. So I left it to the immediate past president because he was not aspiring for any position. So I thought that he was he didn't have any interest. So of course he was equal to the task to ensure that we held our elections. So at a point, I realized that we had not prepared for the elections based on the provisions of the Constitution or as the Constitution stipulates. So I raised some questions, but again, I was an aspirant, so I was talking, it looks as if I was talking in a capacity as an aspirant. So at a point, I left that part of it, as in, I started rather to talk or query things in my capacity as General Secretary, because I thought that was the only way to get things done right. But up till today, what I thought would have been the right thing to do is yet to be done. Let me put it that way. So it is through these discussions and deliberations that I had to send an audio to our acting president, Mr. Besser Simons, so that he could reason with me for us to correct any anomalies that be surrounding the elections. So that's how come the audio came into being. And let me say that audio was not meant for the public. It was meant for the National Executive Council.
Yes, that's why we didn't play it here.
To discuss the issue. So I put that audio on our National Executive Council platform, but somehow it leaked, and that's why you have it.
Yes, but that is why we're not playing it here, because we also felt it would be unprofessional since it's not for public consumption. But in the audio, you did allege that the acting president had accused you of being the one masterminding Ras Appiah-Levi's actions.
Yes, that is what the reason why I flared up, sort of, because I thought that we're all trying to chart a way forward. The acting president knows, if he's listening to me, which I know he is, he knows that I have been stressing for us to do the right thing. You see, when someone accuses you of stealing something, okay, he can threaten. I will take you to court, I will take you to the Ohini, I will take you to the palace, whatever. But once you own up and say, okay, I took it, I stole it. What else can the person do? So in Chi, you say, woman and no, so that was what I was stressing or pushing for us to do. After all, it is our constitution. So, and we all have it. When you take it, it is written in black and white that our national and regional elections, both national and regional elections, must be held at the same time. But we find ourselves focusing only on the national elections, leaving out the regional elections. Meanwhile, we adopted a constitution in 2018 during our maiden biennial conference that we were going to leave the Congress system, which was in the old dispensation, and then now we are adopting a new system called the universal suffrage system, which means that every card-bearing member or every paid-up member is entitled to vote. So it means that we vote once holistically for both national leadership and regional leadership at the same time. But I realized that we had left out the regional elections, only focusing on the national elections in gross violation of the Constitution. So this is what I have been talking about, trying to get my fellow executives to agree with me for us to correct.
If I may ask, in all these, well, when Ras Levi, for instance, felt things weren't being done right, he just decided to step out and go to court. When you felt things weren't being done right, what did you do at the time as General Secretary? Did you still not put everything in place as General Secretary for the elections to go on?
Please say again.
Did you still not put everything in place as General Secretary, in your capacity as General Secretary, for elections to go on successfully and everything else to be done? Did you not play your role?
Thank you very much. I was an aspirant. I said earlier on, so since I was an aspirant, it is only, fair for me not to seem to be involving myself too much in the preparations. Because the Constitution, the framers of the Constitution were wise.
Right,
they know that if you are an aspirant, you have an interest.
Definitely.
So it is not right for you to involve yourself too deeply. So then I trusted that those who were not aspiring will lead us to form an election committee, which according to the Constitution, they should now guide the process for us to hold an election. But it looks like things didn't go the way the Constitution requires that should be done. So to answer your question, in my capacity as General Secretary, I had agreed with the conference for us to adopt a constitution which will guide us. And in doing so, an election committee should be formed. And that's exactly what I supported the National Executive Council to do.
What, in your opinion, do you think are the best things to be done at this time for MUSIGA's issues to be fixed so that MUSIGA can move forward?
Thank you very much for this question. It's all about moving forward. That is my agenda. So if you ask me, yes, we have to make sure that we adhere to our Constitution. First of all, we have to now make sure that there's a new roadmap for the election. Form an election committee and then plan an election holistically, whereby both national and regional leadership will be elected at the same time, just as the Constitution stipulates. So that, for me, that should be the way forward.
That should be the way forward. One of my panel members has a question for you. Uncle Kennedy has a question for you. Uncle Ken, she's on the line, please.
Good afternoon, Deborah.
Good afternoon, sir.
You keep hammering on the part of your breaching the Constitution in what you have done so far. Now, yes. I am thinking that when Vice Osei Kufuor stepped down, that was when your executive committee agreed on his deputy taking over while there was a lacuna. Now, at that time, did you know whether his deputy was also going to be interested in contesting for the position?
Interesting. Okay.
Oh, he's contesting already.
I can't hear her.
Well, I wouldn't have known that because what the National Executive Council did, in my opinion, the Constitution says that in the absence of the president, the first vice president takes over as president or acts as president. So then, because of what stepped down, it was only right in the interest of the union, as Constitution stipulates, for the vice president to act as president. So I don't have problem with that.
So there was no foul play there. There was nothing wrong there.
No problem there.
Yeah.
Now the only problem is after taking over, the vice president is now interested in contesting for the position.
Yes.
And whilst he is still acting as president, it is not fair. In fact, last week when he came here, I made the point to him, and I said to him that, Bessa, I don't think it is fair for you to be sitting as acting president and contesting the election as well. So it will be better if you stepped down for a committee to be formed to see out the elections, which is what you are saying. Isn't that the case?
Well, I am not saying that he should step down. What I said is that it was constitutional for him to have acted as president in the absence of a war. But then what I expected is that a committee will follow the provisions of the Constitution to see to it that we hold a free and fair election. Just as the Constitution.
All right. Point well made. Deborah, one last question, one final question before you go. You were contesting. You were vetted. You met the vetting committee and all that. You went through the entire process, right?
Yes, I did.
So why didn't you raise any of these objections during that process?
I did, my brother. I raised objections. I really did. Even at during the vetting, I said many things. Prior to that, I had, but it looks like, in a nutshell, it looks like many of the things that I said fell on deaf ears. Maybe it's because I was an aspirant. That is why earlier when I said that I realized somewhere along the line that I had to leave out, I had to even forget about the fact that I was contesting and then to speak to issues in my capacity as General Secretary. And I thought that that was going to really push my message to go down well with people. But it looks like most of the questions that I raised fell on deaf ears. So my position is that since the Constitution is written in black and white, since our Constitution provides a clear guidelines to the Union as to how our elections should be held, that is exactly what I insist must be done. Ras has sued the Union, which I don't agree with him. I thought that we could have used ADL to resolve all these issues. But again, my position is to ensure that my fellow executives within the National Executive Council will reason out with him and for us to all agree to do the right thing. So I am telling Ras, Caleb, please, I know you are listening to me.
I'm here, I'm listening.
I have spoken to you.
Yeah.
Remember, I called you some time ago. I said, Ras, please, let us find a way of settling this case out of court. I agree with you. I admit that we have violated Article 11 of the Constitution. So, like I said, if I am a thief, I have stolen something, you are threatening to sue me or take me to the Omahine, and I have owned up that I have stolen. Please, for the fact alone that I have owned up, please don't take me there again. Just let us settle it amicably, and that is what I am pleading with you for us to do. I can assure you that National Executive Council members, we are talking, we are reasoning things out so that we can correct any anomalies there is surrounding this election. So please, Ras, please.
I love that.
Thank you very much.
Most welcome, my dear.
Thank you very much, Devi. And so, Ras, are you going to do just that so that we can bring this conversation to a close?
We will be going to the courts on the 16th of March. After that, I can make a comprehensive.
I heard you fired your lawyer.
I never fired. I changed my lawyer.
You changed your
Yeah, I
lawyer.
never
You
fired.
changed Zwenis?
Yeah, Zenis, yes.
You
Zenis
changed
is-
him?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, Zenis
He
is
changed
a
his
brother.
lawyer, he's changed his
I
lawyer.
changed my lawyers. You know, Zenis is my lawyer.
It's confidentiality. Don't be.
No,
you
my
don't
friend-
have to answer that.
I asked because our intel is different, but you know,
Personalism.
sometimes we try to be.
Well, they've got a confidentiality clause.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
leave it at that.
No, but the intel is different. That's why we
Please.
just, okay. But we'll leave it at
I
that.
didn't even know you had changed your lawyer. That's all I was interested in, not
Yes.
the reasons why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You
Okay.
know.
But he
that's
said
all
he
right.
said he's not fired.
Sadiq? Yeah, no,
No,
he
I've
hasn't
not
fired.
fired. I
No,
just
he just
changed.
changed. He
Yeah.
just
Okay,
changed.
that's fine.
So, Ras, in wrapping it up, what would you like to say to the union and its membership? And I mean, Debbie has appealed to you so that we settle this out of court. You know, so that I want to hear you. Then my panel can
Yeah.
have the final word. So
There
we
are
can-
two things that went to the court the second time.
Yeah.
It's about the forensic audit. Then also-
Finances.
yeah, finances. Then
You have a
also-
problem with the finances
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, big time.
But Russ,
We-
but
we'll have to
that
find
is often
another time for
presented
that.
at the
It's
Congress,
okay.
isn't it?
No, Sadiq, let's not go. We don't have a lot of time to go into
Yeah,
the finances.
yeah.
The finances is a totally different debate. So we'll have to
Yeah.
find a
So
special time to
that
dig
is
into that. Yeah.
I have requested the court to pave the way for us to have that kind of forensic audit.
Okay.
Then also for the interim executives to step down, you know, for us.
Gentlemen, Sadiq, your microphones are on. We
You
can
know,
hear
we
you.
won't come here.
can
Yeah,
hear you.
for-
Oh, no, you should. You should.
Yeah, for us to go to conference
Yeah.
to review and validate the constitution of the union.
Okay.
You know, you see, this is the constitution during Sidi Kubari's time.
Time. Yeah.
But what we have now is...
No, I think the
is-
point
no,
has been
I'm
made.
just...
Yeah,
it's
the-
the soft copy.
the point
And the
has been
soft
made.
copy, they can just go in and do whatever thing. So let us go back
On the 18th of this month of March.
of March.
Okay.
And the judge will say...
We pray by 18th of March everything will be resolved. Gentlemen, Uncle Ken, final words on this one so we
16th
can
March.
we can 15th rather.
16th.
16th. 1/6.
Yeah,
Okay.
1/6.
Yeah.
Yes, Uncle Ken, very quickly so that we can
I think that
because we've got an LGBT conversation
we
coming
need
up.
to move on.
Yeah.
We need to move on,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I feel sad that MUSIGA as it is today is not attracting the current crop of musicians
Yeah.
to its fold. And that is worrying. Because if you're not attracting the current crop of musicians to your fold with all these wahala, then where are you heading to? So please, Ras, when you go to court, tone down on your expectations.
Tone down.
Yeah, on your expectations. Go there with a heart full of wanting peace to reign in your organization, not fighting for certain things. Because when the fighting goes on, we would never succeed.
I'm not fighting, I'm defending.
Whatever. Tone down, let the matter come home, agree. Because Deborah herself,
Yeah.
who is contesting a position, is now saying that you should adhere to the constitution and get a committee to oversee the election. Once you get a committee to oversee the election, I think a lot of these problems will be resolved.
I think
Right.
this thing have to go to
The current members, the current executives.
executives.
Yeah.
I have opened the door since long. But since the case went to court 2019, they have not sat down with me.
Anyway, you've made that point, and I'm sure
Yes.
they are listening.
So
Sadiq,
me, I'm cool.
Sadiq, very quickly so that we can go.
Well, for me, I mean, I side with Uncle
Ken.
and the
Yeah.
advice is given.
Yeah.
But most importantly, as well, we also need to edge the neck. I still would want to send a plea out to Uncle Bessa.
Yeah.
I have a feeling he's got the influence and the much needed power to be able to rally around the current neck to do the needful in this particular case. And I'm praying that if they do, Ras Caleb will be magnanimous enough to accept and then
We move forward. Jesse,
Yes,
end it for us.
George, I'm happy
Yes.
that we've come to the conclusion that the June earmarked election date was not unconstitutional.
Yeah.
So I'm happy about that. We've thrown that out of the way. The second point is this, that I have the firm belief that the membership issue is also not necessarily a constitutional issue. It's a clerical issue.
Yeah.
That should be fixed. And therefore, all the other things that Ras added to it are assumptions of the fact that somebody may have influenced the process and added names to it. You can do an audit on that. I don't think there's a constitutional breach in there.
Yeah.
If there's a constitutional breach in there, it's a breach of members who may not have paid dues. And that should be easily checked and fixed by the treasurer of MUSIGA. George, that's number 2. Number 3, accounts. We've been told that we are asking Obo to come back to render accounts. So we are telling the court Obo must come back to render accounts. With all due respect, MUSIGA has a treasurer. If MUSIGA's treasurer is incompetent, fire him and get somebody else.
Change. The word is change. The word is change. Change.
Okay, good.
Or us.
Yeah.
Number
change,
2, George, I assume that MUSIGA has auditors, no?
Yeah.
So unless you're saying to me that over the past 4 years, MUSIGA has not submitted financial statements. And number 2, MUSIGA has not had their auditors audit their books.
Yeah.
And therefore, how is MUSIGA operating as an entity or as a body?
Yeah.
So if MUSIGA has a treasurer, George, I think that we need to send the message to the treasurer to make sure that do your job. It's as simple as that. And therefore, I feel there was absolutely no need to drag Obo back to come and account for his stewardship.
Yeah.
I think that you can still get the books done and checked. And if you find out that there are malfeasance in the books, then you prosecute him.
That's all.
There's nobody asking him back because
That's
he has
all.
no locus when he comes back, except that he's a former musician.
Yeah.
George, former president. George, my advice to Ras.
Yeah.
1, let the elections happen. Contest for the presidency. Win the presidency. Get the mandate of MUSIGA.
And turn it around.
Then take over and change the things.
But what if he doesn't win?
If you don't win, George, I started from somewhere. If he doesn't win, it is fine. The structure of MUSIGA must work. What's the structure? You've got a treasurer who must submit the books of accounts to your Congress. If it's not working, it's a separate process altogether.
Yeah.
But for me, I am worried that we are telling the court to ask Obo to come back. It's not espionage. It's not, you're not asking him to come back to come and account. Do your books.
Yeah.
Get the books done. And if you find out that he stole money, then prosecute him.
End of story.
But at the end of the day, I don't think that the elections should be held back. So I agree with Uncle Ken.
Yeah.
Let's get the committee working. Let's get the elections going. And let sleeping dogs lie. I think MUSIGA is missing in action.
Thank you very much. Points well made. Ras, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this LGBT conversation. LGBTIQYP, now the letters are becoming XYZ when we come back.
They never exist in this.
Why are we looking for the faults when we should be looking for the perfection? Whatsoever you look for in life,